Republican Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett, Republican Alabama Congressman Barry Moore. Gentlemen, good to see both of you. Unforced errors?
I think so. I think she got way over her skis on this one. I think even President Trump corrected her on it. Yeah, First Amendment, they can say what they want to. We don't have to like it, but you have to suffer the consequences, and that's why you're seeing people getting fired across the country right now.
And that is an interesting point, right? Because this is where the next debate is for conservatives about going after people and exposing them publicly who say things celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination in an attempt to get them fired. Here is J.D. Vance, Vice President, on that.
Civil society, Charlie understood this well, is not just something that flows from the government. It flows from each and every one of us. It flows from all of us. So when you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer.
How is this any different from what Republicans faced 4 years ago, 5 years ago with the cancel culture from the left?
Well, I think in many ways, the cancel culture was taking down a lot of things, but that was the big media companies like Meta now and Facebook, those sort of things. And I think in many ways they were trying to influence an election. What the president's referring to, I think, is when you see people that are educators or whatever, when they're celebrating the death of somebody for something they said and then complaining about getting fired for something that they might have said in turn, I think that it's a little different. And look, employers have a right to do that, but you don't need these big corporations trying to silence free speech of the conservatives, and I think that's what we were facing.
But isn't that trying to silence free speech of liberals if you're trying to fire people or get people fired for free speech?
No, I don't think so, because in many ways that's the employer doing the firing. They're not controlling the narrative outside of that. They have an image they want to maintain. And look, we have educators all across the country that were supposed to be educating our kids that were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And look, if you fire them for what they said, that's one thing, but they shouldn't be celebrating somebody getting killed for what they said.
This was how Charlie Kirk looked at things. This is going back to May 2024. Hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment. Keep America free. You knew Charlie Kirk. You fought for a number of the same principles. I know he liked you and respected you.
Yeah.
Would he have wanted in his name the focus on getting people fired?
I don't think so, but I think he realizes that there is, you have folks that say some really repulsive things,
yep,
and that shows their values. But I would caution the conservative movement. Right now, everybody's doing a victory lap, and over all these folks getting fired. As you know, we're from the South. We've got a weed down the South called kudzu. You know, you cut it, and they'll bring goats in. They'll scorch it, whatever. But guess what? It comes back next year. And that's the problem we've got right now. We're firing these people, but we're not firing the people that hired them, because people that hired them in these colleges and universities, these presidents and others that make excuses for this stuff are not, we're just going to have a more refined liberal. So in other words, what you're saying is that if you don't change the culture that hired people that view the world this way and would celebrate death, then it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah, well, in Tennessee, the lady had some kind of lesbian studies thing, and that's her business if she wants to do that. But my point is this: what's she going to get a job at doing that? And she won't. She won't, and unless she's going to teach lesbian studies or whatever it was. And so my point is this: we've got to quit sending tax dollars to our state institutions that promote this kind of garbage, and it's inbred. It's 50 years of this. This isn't something that's happened overnight, Leland. Well, it's not going to change overnight. No, but we've got to attack it now. Would you let him talk?
And I think we're at a spot too where really, if you look at it, nowadays disagreement is considered hate. I mean, and that's the concern. The culture. But are Republicans doing the same thing? No, I don't think so. I mean, look, Charlie Kirk was going to campuses, and if you disagreed with him, you went to the front of the line. Right, but he didn't try to get you fired. Debate. No, he didn't try to get you fired, but I think Tim's point is that in a lot of ways, some of these institutions that are getting federal funds and these organizations, they have a right to a certain level of education, and education used to be about dialogue, not indoctrination, and that's where we're at now in this country.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.